Hey everybody, Schofield of theC47, and welcome to this special series where I take you through the entire Focus family of monitoring solutions from SmallHD. In this particular video in the series, I'm going to be talking about Focus OLED, so let's get started. All right, let's jump right into the hardware for Focus OLED. There are two versions. We have one with HDMI connectivity and another one with SDI. These are 1920 by 1080 full HD panels. They fill more than 100% of the Rec. 709 color gamut, and they have great contrast. In terms of nit value, 350. Also included with Focus OLED is the Focus tilt arm here. And this is a friction-based tilt arm that you can use to quickly and easily adjust the position of your monitor. It has a 1/4-20 tap and also comes with a cold shoe attachment for things like microphones and other accessories. You can get these monitors in different kit configurations, and you have to check SmallHD's website or other resellers to see what those are. There are a number of solutions here where you can basically run from the SmallHD Focus monitor to a camera system using a dummy battery. So what you do is you put that into your camera. This happens to be a Sony camera. It's plugged into here, and I am now drawing the power for this particular camera from the battery that is on my Focus OLED. And if you're using the Focus OLED monitors outside, you may want to consider getting the sunshade for those as well. Now we're going to jump into OS 3, which is the latest operating system, and it is compatible with all of the current monitors in the SmallHD product line. So what I'm going to do is, because this is a swipe-based OS, I'm going to swipe down. And we can see here that we can create new pages. We're going to talk about that in a little while. And we can also access our settings. Now these settings are pretty universal for all of the Focus monitors in the family. They are a little bit different depending on the connectivity. And of course, if you're using something like the Bolt series with the wireless technology, then that's going to have different input and output options than the other monitors in the family. In each of the videos in this series, I cover some of the different things that are available here in settings. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few of them right now. Now, under display, we have calibration. That's something that we're going to talk about a little bit later in this video. And I'm going to scroll down here to profiles. And this is where we can take our settings here. We can also take our settings from the pages that we build, and we can save them to an SD card on the monitor. So I actually am going to load from the card that's in here already a config file from a different SmallHD Focus monitor. I'm going to select that, and now it's going to load that profile onto here. And then what you'll see when I'm done doing that is if I just go over here and move over, you will see those pages that I created on that other monitor now loaded onto this system, because we have this universal operating system for all of the current monitors in the series. And not just Focus monitors, it could also be their HDR larger displays as well. So I'm going to go over here, and I had mentioned earlier on, we're going to talk about the calibration process. So we're going to go into that menu. Now, as the calibration process is identical for all of the monitors in the Focus family, I'm actually going to show you that using the Focus LCD monitor. We're going to be using the SmallHD Color Probe by X-Rite, and let me go ahead and take you through that process. So we're just going to go ahead and plug that into that micro USB port right now, and it's going to sit in there. And then as soon as it recognizes the color probe, we will see a little message that shows up on the screen, color probe detected, and we're going to start that process. We're also going to choose our auto cal target. By default, that would be D65, and in most situations, that's what we would leave it at, but you do have other options if you'd like. So I'm going to choose D65. So I'm going to use that counterweight here, and I'm going to hang that right over the center of the screen. You might want to go ahead and tilt this up and then all you have to do is tap the screen. So I'm going to go ahead and tap the screen, and then we start the calibration process. Now you can see it's going through the process of bringing up different colors within that patch for the calibration. It's really important to make sure that your puck is flush to the screen. Obviously, you don't want any stray light to get inside of there when you are actually running the calibration process. Now, when you're all done and you see it go back to this screen here, you'll see that it says auto calibration finished. And then you can go over here and take a look at that. You'll click on view. So you'll see showing new now on the monitor, and if I press that again, it will say showing old. So we are toggling between the previous calibration and the new one that we just performed, and we can see that there is in fact a difference. So that's the calibration process done, and now we are going to go back into our pages view. We are now going to choose a brand new page and go up to the top left of the screen where we can see our 6 tool categories: frame, we have expose, scopes, focus, overlay, and scale. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at some of the tools in this particular video in the series. We look at some of the other ones in other videos. So let's go ahead and take a look at aspect under frame. All we do is press the plus button here. We've now added that tool to this particular page. And then when we click on that, we can turn that on or off this way. Or when we've stepped out of our parameters, we can just press on the little icon to turn on or off our tool. So I'm going to go ahead and add another tool now. I'm going to go into my expose options. I'm going to choose exposure assist. This would be what we call false color. And when I go into the options for that, we can see all of our parameters. And then we can turn on this IRE guide, because depending on the style of exposure assist we're using, these colors will show me what these colors mean in relationship to IRE values. So we have airy, we have spectrum, and you'll see that guide changes completely based on that. And we also have 3 places here, map 1, map 2, and map 3, where we can create our own customized exposure assist false colors. So let's go ahead and jump down here and go to overlay. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to add a look, basically a lookup table. There are some built into the monitor itself for certain cameras and certain settings for cameras, but I have that SD card inside of here, and because I'm getting a feed from a Canon camera, I have a folder in here with some Canon LUTs, and I'm going to go into some of those and actually choose one that's appropriate to the way that I'm shooting with this particular camera system. So I can see that that is loaded into there. I'm going to select that LUT, and now that is being applied to my image. And I'm going to add another tool, which is under scopes. Let's add a waveform monitor. And we go into our parameters for the waveform monitor, and now that we've applied the LUT, we can ignore the look, or we can see it with the look applied. And we can also change our layout in terms of whether it's full screen or it is positioned in a particular place in the screen. So we can change our width and our height, and then exactly where it's going to sit in the screen, especially easy with this touch screen. So that is another powerful feature. And if you need to, you can of course add a vector scope as well to your options. And then you can just turn those on and off as you need to, including all of the other tools. Okay, so that's how easy it is to use the operating system with your OLED focus monitors. And once you've learned this operating system, it actually applies to all of the current monitors that are offered from SmallHD, including the other focus monitors in the family and even their larger 13 and 17-inch displays. So where do I see this OLED version of the focus monitor being used in production as opposed to the other monitors in the focus family? Well, for me, it really has a lot to do with that wider color gamut and that contrast ratio. Yes, the nit value isn't as high as it is in the Focus LCD, so maybe you're going to be using that sunshade a little bit more in exterior applications. But when you're using modern mirrorless and also small digital cinema cameras that are shooting in log and with wider gamut, you are going to see more on these OLED focus monitors than you are on their LCD counterparts. And that's the great thing about the Focus family. We have the OLED solutions, we have the LCDs, and we also have the Bolt versions with that wireless technology. You choose the one that's right for your types of productions at that time. And I suggest that you take a look at the other videos in the series so you can make those informed decisions. Thanks for watching.